Welcome to First Down by CoachTools, where you hear from successful coaches and the top minds in sports, with host Justin Tichenell. First Down is brought to you by CoachTools, the football player grading software that's better and faster. Today's guest is Randy Hedberg. For more content like this, be sure to like and subscribe.
Thanks for having me, Justin. Looking forward to it.
So Coach Hedberg is the associate head coach and quarterbacks coach over at North Dakota State University. So to get things started, Coach, can you just share with the audience about your background and how you've ultimately got involved in your current role?
Well, Justin, I've been coaching for 40 plus years in college football. I started at my alma mater, Minot State, in North Dakota, and then I've worked a number of different areas. I've coached down in the state of Missouri, state of Illinois, state of Minnesota. I've been a head coach. I've been an offensive coordinator. I've coached different spots in the offense. Primarily, most of my time spent in college coaching has been with the quarterbacks. And that's probably where I've spent most of my years of experience, or have my most of experience as a college coaching quarterbacks. But I also played the position. I got drafted into the National Football League out of Minot State way back, and by Tampa Bay. So I was with Tampa for a couple of years, and so I experienced that for a little bit, and I've been coaching. So I got out of professional football and got into college coaching, thinking there was a little bit more security, and that isn't the case, Justin. I think as we worked around it, there is as much security in college coaching as there is in professional football, for sure.
Yes, sir. So having played at the highest level, Coach, and then obviously you've had some special quarterback play over the years with Carson, Wentz, Easton Stick, and Trey Lance. Can you talk about some of the qualities that you've seen in those successful quarterbacks?
Definitely, Justin. That's a great question. People have asked me that through the years, and you look at the three guys you just mentioned, that were all selected in the NFL. They all were different, different sizes, different, mentalities, different work ethics. But the number one thing is they were all pretty detailed orientated, and they were probably detailed to the fact of, preparing themselves to play each week and each game. And I think, kind of our quarterback preparation was created by Carson a little bit, and then kind of graduated to Easton and then to Trey and then to our current group of quarterbacks. And it's changed a little bit, but it's all starts from that first part back with Carson and preparation of quarterbacks. And all of it has to be detailed. And I think that's the biggest thing, their attention to detail, footwork wise, eye placement, all of that has been very important in our preparation of quarterbacks.
Definitely. And going back to just preparation, can you talk about how you as a coach would be able to communicate to a player starting off when they first get to the program and then as they mature a little bit through the years?
Yeah, kind of how the program that I kind of handle, Justin, is I try to work when a young man comes into our program as a quarterback. Right away, we start teaching them how we look at a defense. We try to teach them from a front standpoint. Then we go to the second level with containment and gap control, and then we go to our secondary and try to look at different movements to the secondary as far as coverages. That's what we start with in the summer leading into their first year with us, trying to teach them more about how defenses are going to play us a little bit, whether it's 4 down or 3 down, coverage wise, because our quarterbacks, we set protections at the line of scrimmage with our QBs. Now, a lot of times centers will be the ID point, but our quarterbacks will do some of that, a lot of that during the course of a game. And so we teach them protections and then alignments of defenses. And that's kind of where we start. And I think that's an important part of learning the game a little bit early in your career.
Definitely. And I never played the quarterback position, but as a college player, when I played offensive line, one of the biggest things for me as a player was being able to think on the fly and adaptability. And what it seems like is at the quarterback position, and you can obviously speak from experience playing the position, being able to adapt and quickly think on the fly is really important. So, can you talk about what that means for you and how you communicate that to your players?
Yeah, that's a really interesting point you make in that fact that the processing that happens at the line of scrimmage. See, at NDSU, we're a little different in the fact that we're a huddle football team for the most part. Okay, we're not gonna stand at the line of scrimmage and look at signals from the sideline very often. We work off out of a huddle, so we'd like to get to the line of scrimmage at 15 seconds, 12 seconds, and that gives the quarterback only about 10 to 12 seconds to process. So we have to get this done quickly, and our quarterbacks have to be ready for that at the line of scrimmage to process quickly, protection wise, coverage wise, any type of movement. We try to ascertain movement with our cadence a lot of times with our quarterbacks. We use a different number of different cadences that hopefully will stimulate some movement from the defense, and that's kind of what we look at. So our quarterbacks are bought into that, and they try to work that on a daily basis in our practices.
Definitely. Definitely. And for you personally, coach, going back in your career when you were first getting started as a coach, if you could think about maybe the top 2 to 3 things that you've done over your career that have helped you get to this point, what do you think those would have been?
Um, that, you know, I was very fortunate when I started coaching in college football. I had some great mentors that were older than I that I listened to, and they were very good friends of mine as we progressed through the coaching, careers. And learning from them was very important. And I think if young coaches will learn, because I'm still learning, I've said that in an earlier interview today. I'm still learning the game, and I've been in it 40 plus years. But I think I've learned as much from a guy like Carson or Trey or Easton than they probably learned from me. I know that. And learning is so important to whatever age you're at. Sit back and learn, and sometimes close your mouth and listen with your ears. And that's the biggest thing I can say to young coaches, because there's guys out there that want to be mentored and they want to help you. And as long as you're listening to them, you're going to learn. And I think that's the biggest thing, because coaches are teachers. I've been in it. I was educated as a teacher. Now I've never been in a very often in a classroom setting other than a position room to teach. But that's what I think I am. I'm a teacher, but I also want to learn.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with that sentiment. And going back to what you were saying about just learning from others and being really just being a sponge, I think when you're a young coach, when you're just getting started off, maybe in your 20s or even some guys earlier in their late teens, I think it's so important because in a lot of ways, especially if you're like a GA or maybe just a quality control guy, in a lot of ways, when you listen to those guys, you're buying their time because they might have something that they've learned that they're going to tell you so that you don't make that same mistake. So, like what you were saying, I think that's definitely very important.
Yeah, I think we all can, listen better and learn better. And I think if we just sometimes listen, I think we can learn a lot better as we go through our jobs, whatever it is, whether you're a coach or wherever you work. So yes,
Yes,
please.
sir. Yes, sir. Well, thank you very much for sharing all that, coach. And so the audience today, mainly football coaches, high school level, small college, and even some of the FCS and FCS levels. So
Okay.
knowing the audience of coaches, any last words that you would want to share with the audience today?
Uh, I just want to make sure that, all coaches, at every level, there's good coaches. Everybody, I've been very fortunate. I have coached some guys that are at the NFL level, and they relate back to me and say, "Hey, not everybody's the best coach at the NFL level. There's great coaches at the FBS level. There's great coaches at the FCS level, junior college, NEIA. I started out as an NEI player, so I'm a small school guy. There's great coaches coaching in the NEIA and Division II or whatever it is, Division III. So don't cut yourself short on anything. Make sure you try to work the best you have and do the best job you have at the level you're coaching at. And I think that's the biggest thing I can give to young coaches that are coming up in the profession.
Awesome. Well, Coach, I very much appreciate your time today and sharing with the audience, and best of luck with the off season and as you head into next season.
Thanks, Justin. Anytime. Thank you very much.